Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Shaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtaki Aradhayo Bhagavan Vrajeshatanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachitupasana Vrajavadu Vargena Va Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanamamalam Prema Pumartho Maha Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Matamidam Tatra Dharana Paraha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So thank you so much for joining for this impromptu reading. We didn't plan for it, but since it's such a holy day, on a Sunday, it's a holiday, but the holiday becomes a holy day when we begin with reading, hearing, chanting. And somehow I felt that we should hear or read a few verses from the prayers of Vritrasura. Vritrasura, you've heard of Vritrasura? Okay. So this story comes in Canto 6 of the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a long story and we'll not go into the depth of the story today, but what we will do is read a few of the prayers. So Vritrasura was actually on the demon side, but he was a pure devotee at heart. And there are examples in scriptures like this. For example, Bhishma Dev also, he was fighting on the side of the Duryodhana, but he was a pure devotee at heart. So sometimes Krishna, knowingly or does that, or Krishna arranges for such episodes, like Vritrasura is a classic episode. He was a devotee in the guise of a demon. He was actually killing demigods. He was fighting with Indra, and there's a long story, but today we will try to understand his mood, his heart, his few prayers, which are very, very important. And these are 4 verses, Canto 6, Chapter 11, text 24, 25, 26, and 27. So, without further delay, we can go to this section of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and I'm going to share a few pictures. Also, this is Vritrasura. After, Indra kind of used his thunderbolt. Earlier, they were all very afraid, and Vritrasura was kind of demolishing them left and right. And there was no hope for them to, there was no like ray of hope that they would be saved. This is Vritrasura again. But finally, when Vritrasura had so much faith, "O Indra, use your mighty Indra Vajra, which has been given to you." So Vritrasura, like practically, same as how Bhishma Dev told Arjuna how he can be devoured. So similarly here, Vritrasura told how Indra, that how he will be devoured, how you must use your weapon which Lord has given you, and that is, why are you not having faith in the weapon Vajra, the thunderbolt which has been given to you by Krishna or Vishnu himself? So that's the faith of a devotee. Although he was on the demoniac side, but he had firm faith in the instructions of Lord Sri Hari. So very, very interesting story and very, very interesting prayers. But today I thought we will take these verses, which are very, very nice verses, and we'll play Gauranga Darshan Prabhu's audio. I think you can hear. The 4 verses.
Radha Nama Parama Sukhadayi.
Prayers of Vritrasura. Aham hare tava padaikamula dasanudaso bhavitasmi bhuyah manah smareta supatirgunamste granitava karma karotu kayah nanaka prishtham na cha parameshtyam na sarvabhaumam na rasadhipatyam न योगसिद्धिर् अपुनर्भवं वा समञ्जसत्वा विरहय्यकाङ्क्षे अजातपक्षा इव मातरं खगाः स्तन्यं यथावत्सतराः क्षुधार्ताः प्रियं प्रियेव व्युषितं विषण्णा मनोरविन्दाक्षदिदृक्षते त्वाम् ममोत्तमश्लोकजनेषु सख्यं संसारचक्रे भ्रमतस्वकर्मभिः त्वन्माययात्मात्मजदारगेहेष्वासक्तचित्तस्य न नाथ भूयात् हरे कृष्ण
Hare Hare Krishna. So these are the 4 verses which will be our focus for our reading. So we'll go one by one and read from 24th verse. These are very, very important prayers, again by the great Vritrasura. Aham Hari Tava Padai Kamula Dasanudasa Havitasmi Bhuya Manasmarita Supate Gunamsta Grini Tavaka Karma Karotu Kaya. You want to try? Yeah.
Aham Haratavo Padakamulam Dasanudasa Bhavistasi Bhayatam Manaha Smarita Smurita Gunaste Gunitva Karma Karatu Kaya.
So we'll read the translation and word to word also, since these are very important. Aham, I, Hari, O my Lord, referring to Krishna or Vishnu, Tava, of yours, of your lordship, Pad Ekamula, whose only shelter is the lotus feet, Dasa Anudasa, the servant of the servant, Bhavitasmi, shall I become, Bhuyah, again, Manah, my mind, Smarit, may remember, Asu Patehi, the Lord of the Lord of my life, Gunan, attributes, Te, of your lordship, Grinita, may chant, Vak, my words, Karma, activities of service to you, Karotu, may perform, Kaya, my body. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, will I again be able to be a servant of your eternal servants who find shelter only at your lotus feet? O Lord of my life, may I again become their servant so that my mind may always think of your transcendental attributes or qualities, my words always glorify those attributes, and my body always engage in the loving service of your lordship. this verse gives the seventh substance of devotional life. One must first become a servant of the servant of the servant of Lord, Das Anudas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised, and he also showed by his own example, that a living entity should always desire to be a servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna, the maintainer of the gopis. Gopir bhartur pad kamalayor das das dasanudas. This means that one must accept a spiritual master who comes in the disciplic succession and is a servant of the Lord. Under this direction, one must then engage one's three properties, namely his body, his mind, and words. The body should be engaged in the physical activity under the order of the spiritual master, of the master. The mind should always think of Krishna incessantly, and one's words should always be engaged in preaching the glories of the Lord. If one is thus engaged in the loving service of Lord, one's life is successful. Oops. Such a beautiful verse. Text 24. Let's go a little bit one more time. Aham harer tava padeka moolam dasa anudasa bhavitasmi bhuyam. So now we can, after reading the translation word to word, we can try to meditate upon the meaning a little more. That, my Lord, when will I again become the servant of your servant? Dasanudas, bhavit. Bhava means to happen, like Ayushman Bhava, right? Chiranjeevi Bhava, may it be. So when, bhuyaha, when again, when will it again I'll become servant of the servant? Padeka mula. Mula means shelter, root. Those only shelter is your tava, O Hari, your lotus feet. Now what will I do there? After becoming the servant of the servant, that he's expressing in the next line. Mana smareta asu. With my mind, I want to remember you, always think of you. Pate gunamste grinita vaka. With my vak, with my vani, with my speech, I want to talk about your glories. Guna, or attributes, your name, form, qualities. Gunamste. And with my karma, with my actions, with my body, karotu kaya. Kaya means body. So with my kaya, with my body, I want to render practical devotional service, activities to serve you. So I hope this helps, going word by word. Aham harita padai kamula dasanudaso bhavitasmi bhuya manasmarita shupatir gunamste grini tava karma karo tukaya. Hare Krishna. So in this verse we see that Vritrasura, he's not asking, give me wealth. This morning only we were hearing His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. People, one thing is very, very dear in this world to everyone is wealth. And because wealth leads to other like home, car, gadgets, and other things. But Maharaj was giving the example of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. He was a multi-billionaire in contemporary language. Multi-billionaire. He had so much wealth, unimaginable prosperity. Like buckets full, or like boats full of gold coins. Imagine if someone has like, let's say even, 1 kilogram of gold this day, like so rich, right? People have, grams or ounces of gold maybe, but, boats full of gold coins. So we cannot imagine the wealth, but that all that wealth was nothing compared to the wealth of devotional service. Even His Holiness Kadamba Swami Maharaj, in his last lecture, in his last words, which I sent recently, if you get a chance to hear that, he mentioned that never trade your spiritual life for anything of this world, because anything of this world, no matter how lucrative, how appealing, how great, or how opulent it may appear, is basically not even an iota, not even an atom compared to the wealth of devotional service. This is real wealth. And that's why Vritrasura, who's a pure devotee in the guise of a demon, is not asking for anything, but he's asking that I want to become dasanudas. When will I again become dasanudas? Bhavitasmi bhuyah. Dasanudas bhavitasmi. When will I again become the servant of the servant? And what, asking, oh Prabhu, I'm your servant. Oh, you are master. But what does it really mean? What does it really mean? Prabhupada is explaining. What does it really mean to become the servant of the servant? And Lord Chaitanya also shared this prayer. I'm not a Brahmana, I'm not a Brahmanaprastha, Kshatriya, etc. Gopir Bhartur Padakamalayur Dastas. I'm the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of those who are serving the gopis, who are the servants of Krishna. So that means that our BMW, body, mind, words. So there are all the three things I mentioned here. Vaka, body means kaya, that's mentioned here. Vak, body, mind. Mana, smaritya. Mana, smaritya, that we see here. Mana, smarita, shupatir, gunamste. So mana, I want to remember. Even Amrish Maharaj says that Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo. It's very similar, you see. Padara Aravindayo. So I want to, with my mind, I want to always remember Krishna, the lotus feet of Krishna. Here, same, Vritrasura is saying, with my mind, I always want to remember Krishna and engage my body under the order of the spiritual master. Very, very important. We don't even know what's the best use of the body. The best use of the body is to engage in the service of the spiritual master, and to, like Arjuna was also confused. He didn't know what was the best use of his body, of his skill. But Lord Krishna channelized that. So the spiritual master channelizes our body, our mind, our words in the right direction, so that we can engage body, mind, and words in the loving service, Prabhupada, so beautifully. Because bhakti is done lovingly. It's not just service. It's not like a servant, like a paid servant, or it's not like a job. It's out of love and devotion. Yome bhaktya prayachati. When it is done with love and devotion, as we were talking yesterday also, Krishna is not hungry for our lamp or our food or our water or our whatever ingredients. He's hungry for that loving aspect. And then one's life is successful. Simply, even Lord Brahma also says that in the 10th canto, Tatte nukampam susamikshamano bhunjani vatma kritam vipakam hrid vak vapu. Hrid vak vapur bhi vidadhan namaste jivetyo mukti pade sabdhaya bhak. Over there also he says hrid vak. Hrid means again mind or heart. Vak means words, and vapu kaya, same thing. If one, in spite of all the challenges, Tattenukampa, Sushami keeps tolerating them. Challenges will come, ups and downs come in everyone's life. But if one continues to tolerate and engages one's three properties, what are the three properties? Body, mind, and words. Easy to remember. BMW. The sannyasi carries three dandas. If you know this, if you have seen the sannyasi danda, it has three dandas. Then therefore we call three dandi sannyasi. You know what are those three dandas? There are three dandas in there. In that staff, it's not one stick. One stick is for the Mayavadis, Eka Dandi Sannyasi. But Gaudiya Vaishnava Sannyasis are three Dandi Sannyasi. And those three are these three attributes, Kaya, Maja, Manasa. Kayena vacha manasendriyeva. Right? In the that pranam mantra also it's there. So this comes in everywhere because what are we doing is practically through our body, mind, and words. These are the main, whatever is in the mind is expressed through the body, is expressed through the hands. We can use it to clean the temple, or we can use it to punch someone, right? Whatever is going on in our mind, we will be expressing through our hands, through our legs, through our words. So therefore, Nectar of Instruction mentions that we should control these urges. And how to control? The best formula is to give higher taste, and that higher taste is lovingly engaging in the service of Guru and Krishna. And that's what Vritrasura is praying again in this verse, which is Aham harita padai kamula dasanudaso bhavitasmi bhuya Maniyam manasmarita supate gunamste grinita vakarma karotu kaya. Very, very beautiful verse. But we have 3 more to cover, so we will move on to the next one. You want to try this one? You want me to read once? Na kaprishtam na chaparamishtyam na sarvabhaumam na rasadhipatyam na yoga siddhirapunarbhavam va samja sadva virhaya akanshi.
Nana kaprishnam na chaparamistyam na sarvabhamya na rasadhipattam na yogi siddhir punarbhava samanjasya tva virahasya kam.
We'll go to the translation and purport, but to what also will read.
Not Nakam Prastham, the heavenly planets are Dhruvaloka, Na nor Cha also, Paramistayam, the planet on which Lord Brahma resides, Na nor Sarva Bhumanam, sovereignty of the whole earthly planetary system, Na nor Rasa Adhipatyam, sovereignty of the lower planetary system, nor Yoga Siddhi, 8 kinds of mystic yogic power, Anima, Laghima, Mahima, it is. Apunha Bhavam, liberation from the rebirth in the material body, or Samanjasya, or source of all opportunity, Tva, you, Viraya, being separated from, Kankhe, I desire. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, all glory to Srila Prabhupada. Translation. O my Lord, source of all opportunity, I do not desire to enjoy in Dhruvaloka, the heavenly planets, or the planet where Lord Brahma resides, nor do I want to be the supreme ruler of all the earthly planets or the lower planetary system. I do not desire to be master of the powers of mystic yoga, nor do I want liberation if I have to give up your lotus feet. Purport. A pure devotee never desires to gain material opportunity by rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord. A pure devotee desires only to engage in loving service to the Lord in the constant association of the Lord and his eternal associate, as stated in the previous verse. Dasanudasa bhavitasan. As confirmed by Narottam Das Thakur, Tanindra Charan Sevi Bhakta Sane Bhasam Janname janame haya eya bhirasam. To serve the Lord and the servants of his servants in the association of devotees is the only objective of a pure, unalloyed devotee. Hare Krishna.
To share some thoughts.
Here means like no expectation, only like the bhakti, means he not to go to the like the where Brahma is residing in that Brahma or nothing, only that only we have to do our bhakti to the Supreme Lord Personality.
Very good. So in the previous words, we read about that what is he desiring for is to become the servant of the servant. Dasa nudas bhavitasmi bhuyah. Oh my Lord, I want to become again the servant of your servant. Now someone may think, oh, okay, why? Why do you want to become the servant of the servant? So let's see all the reasons here again. What he is saying, he does not want. You see, so many times, na. So many times it's na, sarva, na, yoga siddhir, na. So what he's saying here, I do not want naka prishtam, naka prishtam. I do not want the planets, the upper planet, Dhruva Loka, the highest. Na cha. Okay, do you want Brahmaloka? Maybe you want even higher Brahmaloka? No. I do not even want the Paramishtyam, where Brahma resides. Okay, what do you want? Do you want a very long life in the earthly planets? Sarvabhauma? You want the sovereignty, you want the whole earthly planets. So you see, upper Brahma, earthly is lower, or sorry, middle planetary system. Na rasadhipatyam, rasatal in the lower planets. Rasa adhipatyam, pati means master. I do not want sovereignty or मैं उनका rasatal adi, rasadhipatyam. That's a sandhi there. Rasa adhipatyam. I do not want sovereignty over other lower planetary systems also. So he's covering Dhruvaloka, Brahmaloka, earthly planets, Bhuloka, then Rasaloka, etc. We generally say three planetary system or three loka, right? The three loka, basically, he's saying, I do not want upper, I do not want middle, I do not want lower either. So all three rejected. Now just think about this is so deep. Who will reject if someone is saying, oh, you got a multi-million-dollar house in Hawaii on a beach? Who will reject that? It's so hard to reject that, right? You have to think in that way. Then only we'll be able to feel, no one will reject that. What to speak of non-devotees? Even if the chance comes to us, hey, I would like to take this offer. It is thoda sa usme, what there's a minute thing you have to do or whatever. No one is going to reject that. Who will reject a tiny home in this world? Is so hard to reject, but he is rejecting. Look at this devotion. He's rejecting Dhruva Loka. Loka. I'm not talking about a tiny home there. Loka means is the sovereignty over the entire planetary systems, like the whole world. I mean, we can't even imagine what he's talking here, because we think of, okay, one property, maybe two, maybe three, maybe at 10. Right? You can't think beyond that, right? But he's talking about not just 10 houses, not 10 cities, not 10 countries, not 10 continents. He's talking about all the planetary systems, upper, lower, middle, rejected. So, I mean, we cannot imitate, we can at least appreciate the mood he has. Rejected. Nanaka Prishtam, upper or heavenly planets, nacha parameshtyam, even Brahma's planet, na sarvabhaumam, bhuloka, or these, all these, the lower earthly or middle earthly planets, na rasadhipatyam, rasatal adi, unko bhi reject. Okay, now what do you want? You want some siddhis to become lower than the lowest, heavier than the heaviest, anima, lagima, smaller than the smallest, and prapti, there are different types, mahima, etc. So wherever, just think about who will reject that. If someone says, hey, if I want to get, mango from Nagpur and suddenly it comes in my hand, that means prapti siddhi, right? So Ashta Yoga Siddhi also rejected. He does not want. Puna Bhavam. Wow. Many people, what they aspire for, ye janam mrityu ka chakkar khatam. Right? I do not want rebirth. What is that? What is aspiring for? The answer is no. Devotees, pure devotees, do not even aspire to. So we covered earthly planets, lower planets. I do not want to desire mystic siddhi, nor do I want liberation. Basically, when we say apuna bhavam, bhavam means to come or happen. Apuna, puna means again. So I do not, not aspiring for liberation. So pure souls do not aspire even for liberation. So what that means is basically they have a higher motivation to serve Krishna. This motivation, just my problems get solved. I don't want to be in the cycle of repeated birth. And that's like I-centered. My problems get away. But what is das bhav, Krishna-centered? How I can best serve Krishna. If Krishna wants me to serve in this planet, so be it. If Krishna wants me to serve in that planet, so be it. If Krishna wants me to come back home, back to Godhead, and if he thinks so, then so be it. Wherever he feels what's best for me, whatever he feels, then let his will be done, not my will. That is Krishna consciousness. That is what Vritrasura is also saying here, that na yoga siddhi apunarbhamamba samjasittava virahaya kanshi. I do not want the liberation if I have to give up your lotus feet. That means I don't aspire to become in the Brahma Jyoti without service to Krishna. So that impersonal liberation is also cancelled. In short, what they are aspiring for, they do not want to be separated from Krishna's lotus feet. It's another way. If I have to be separated from your lotus feet, I do not do anything. So the main thing is, Krishna, you keep me wherever you want, but never let me be away from your service. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, na kavitam. So na again coming there also. Right? Here Prabhupada is quoting Narottam Thakur again. Janama janama hoy ei abhilash. What is my abhilasha? After janama, repeatedly birth after birth. Tadira charana. Sebi bhakta sanivas. Bhakto ke sang mein vas ho. That means the association of devotees. And always I am at the lotus feet, your lotus feet. Tadira charana. In Tulsi Aarti also we pray. We don't pray, oh, give me wealth, give me this, give me that. We pray, Mora ei abhilash, vilas kunje diyo vas. Nayane haribo sad. Ei abhilashi, abhilasha coming there also. So the abhilasha, the desire, or the word kansha is used here again. The only aspiration, the only kansha, the only abhilasha, the only ambition of a devotee is devotional service, to never be separated from the lotus feet of Krishna, whether it is this planet or that planet. Narayana parasarve na kutaschina bhed. This swarga apavarga narkeshu api tulyata darshana. It also comes in beautiful 6th canto. For the devotees who are Narayan Parayana, it doesn't matter where they are in Swarga, Naraka, wherever they are, Api Tulya. Api means they see everyone Tulya, same. Api Tulya Darshana, they see everything with equal vision. Why? Like here, Vritrasura, being a demon, in the dress of a demon, he's a devotee, but in the dress of a demon, but he is pure, 100% pure conscious. There's no tinge of, we see as, there's no tinge of material desires. Even Prahlad Maharaj, even Dhruva Maharaj, and when Dhruva was asked, hey, what do you want? Or Prahlad was asked, Swamin Kritartho Varam Na Yachi. Swamin, oh Swami, oh Master, I am Kritartha. Kritartha means I am satisfied. Varam Na Yachi. I do not want any other Vara. Krishna is Varadraj. He can certainly give all the ambitions, all the boons we may ask him. But pure, we are talking about highly elevated devotees. They do not ask anything for themselves. They ask only one thing, Krishna, never let me be separated from your lotus feet. That's my only ambition. Whether it is heaven or hell, poverty or richness, India or America, this planet or that planet, married or unmarried, all these are these external situations. But one thing and the only thing which devotee aspires for, that I should never be separated. Sanjasa tva virahaya kanchan. I do not want to be viraha. Viraha means being separated. Hare Krishna, how are you? So we'll go to the third verse. We have time. Ajata paksha iva matram khagaha stanyam yatha vatsarashodharta priyam priyeva yusitam vishanna mano aravindaksha didrishe titvam. You want to read, Ayush? You can come here and read. Maybe you can sit here. So we'll read the synonyms and then we'll read the translation and the purport. We'll start from here.
Ajatapaksha, who have not yet grown wings, Iva, like Mataram, the mother, Kaga, small birds, Stainyam, the milk from the under, Yatha, just as, Vaistra, the young calves, Sudartha, distressed by hunger, Priyam, the beloved of her husband, Priya, the wife or the lover, Eva, like, Vyusitam, who is away from home, Visyana, Mors, Manya, my mind, Aravinda Aksha, a lotus-eyed one, Didriksta, wants to see, Vam, you.
Translation.
A lotus-eyed Lord, as baby birds that have not yet developed their wings always look for their mother to return and feed them. As small calves tied with ropes await anxiously the time of milking, when they will be allowed to drink milk of their mothers, or as a Moor's wife, whose husband is away from home, always longs for him to return and satisfy her in all respects. I always yearn for opportunity to render direct service onto you. A pure devotee always yearns to associate personally with the Lord and render service unto him. The example given in this regard are most appropriate. A small baby bird is practically never satisfied except when the mother bird comes to feed. A small calf is not satisfied unless allowed to suck the milk from the mother's under. And a caste developed wife whose husband is away from home is never satisfied until she has the association of her beloved husband.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Ayush. So in this beautiful verse, we see the the yearning of a devotee, the yearning, the the greed, the lalasa, their heart, through three analogies, because scriptures are very metaphorical. And these examples are given to help us understand the mood of a devotee. So three examples are given. Ajata paksha. Ajata means puritra bada nahi hua. Pakshi, paksha. Eva matra khaga. Khaga means those who fly in the air. So these birds. So the birds whose wings are not fully grown, that means small birds. What are they waiting for? They are waiting for their matra, mata, matram. Because a small baby, they are completely dependent on the mother, right? Whether birds, looks like birds are even more dependent. Therefore, the scriptures give this example. But every species we see that a young child, a toddler, or a child they have not developed, they are eagerly waiting when will their mother come and give them some grains. So basically, this mood of separation, they cannot tolerate the viraha. And as we read in the Chaitanya Shishtastakam also, one moment of separation from you, my Lord, is like eons, is like millenniums. So a devotee can tolerate everything, but again, as we go in the last verse, so he's giving more analogies here. What was the word used? Viraha, na viraha kanshe. I can do everything, right? Wherever you feel appropriate, but I should not be separated from you. Even Haridas Thakur also asked for the same thing. That let me be a dog, but in the house of a devotee. This is a mood of a Vaishnava, pure Vaishnava. They, wherever, no matter what, they'll do anything and everything. They will do anything and anywhere and everywhere, but not being bereft of the devotional service. The first example is the bird. We eagerly waiting, young birds eagerly waiting for their mother. Then the next example is young calves. Vatsa, the word vatsa means calf. Go, vatsa. Who are disturbed by hunger, shrudartha. They're waiting for their mothers to feed them. And they can go on and on. They are never satiated. Krishna would sometimes open the calves and they would run. If you have seen this sight, before the cow gives milk, the cows drink the milk first. And otherwise, the cow doesn't give milk. And, at my grandmother's place, sometimes I would untie the cows when they would ask me, my grandmother would ask me. And they would run with so immense speed because they're so desperate. They are so eager. So that desperation, that eagerness, that lolyam, tatra lolyam iti mulyam, that's only the greed, that spiritual hunger, which the calf is showing towards getting to the udders of the mother to get the nectar, in this case, the milk. Similarly, a devotee must also show that eagerness, that lolyam, that hankering, that hunger. I'm eagerly waiting for Krishna, eagerly waiting for Krishna consciousness, eagerly waiting for devotional service. Then there will be rapid progress. So that's what the cows. And then the third example is the wife waiting for the husband. If the husband is separate, let's say sometimes you may have seen that the couples are separated because the husband is, let's say, in military, and suddenly he's out for 6 months or 8 months, and the wife has been waiting. When will my dear husband come? So every time she is thinking about the husband, right? So we are also separated in one way from Krishna, who's our real husband. But unfortunately, I'm just talking about myself. How much do I really think of him, right? Am I, if I'm separated from a family member, maybe I'll think of them more. then, I mean, that is absolutely fine in one way, because we can't imitate, but at least we can aspire what the mood scriptures are telling. So our real husband is Krishna, our real mother is Krishna, our real father is Krishna, our real child is Krishna. How much and I have been eternal, for so many lifetimes I have forgotten him. Do I really think of him? Right? That's something to meditate upon. How much I really think of him and how much I should be thinking of him. So that's the third example. Priyam, Priyeva, Visitam, Vishanna. Mano, Aravind Aksha. Aravind means lotus, Aksha, lotus eye. Didrikshe Tvam. I'm only yearning, I'm only aspiring for the opportunity to render service unto you, who is lotus-eyed, Arvind Aksha. So I want to see him. This is the heart. This is the devotion. This is the mood of pure Vaishnava. Shall we read 27th also? And then this is the last verse for today. Mamottamushlokajaneshu sakhyam sansara chakre brahmata swakarmabhi vanmayayatmajadaragehishu asakta chittasya nanatha bhuyat. Mama, my Uttama Shloka Janeshu, among devotees who are simply attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sakhyam, friendship, Samsara Chakre, in the cycle of birth and death, Brahmataha, who am wandering, Swakarmabhi, but the results of my own fruitive activities, Tvat Mayaya, by your external energy, Atma, to the body, Atmaja, children, Dara, wife, Geheshu, and home, Asakta, attached, Chittasya, whose mind, not, Natha, O my Lord, Bhuyat, may there be. Translation and purport by C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. O my Lord, my Master, I am wandering throughout this material world as a result of my fruitive activities. Therefore, I simply seek friendship of the association of your pious and enlightened devotees. My attachment to my body, wife, children, and home is continuing by the spell of your external energy, but I wish to be attached to them no longer. Let my mind, my consciousness, and my everything, let everything I have to be attached only to you. This is in the purports to 6th canto, 11th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Transcendental Qualities of Vritrasura. So in this verse, the beautiful prayer of Vritrasura, he is asking Krishna what to give him and what to take. Mama Uttama Shloka Janeshu. Uttama Shloka means who is referring to Krishna. One who is praised with choicest poetry. Uttama Shloka. So referring to Krishna. So what is Vritrasura saying? Mama, give me attachment to Krishna Jana. Janeshu is the plural. Mama Uttama Shloka Janeshu means those who are pious, pure devotees. Now what do you give? I want to become their boss? No, I want their friendship. I want to serve them. Dasanudas, he already said. But I want their sakhyam. I want friendship. So we should have friendly relationships with Uttama Shloka Janeshu, depending upon, equals. There are devotees who are equals to us, there are devotees who are superior to us, there are devotees who are newer to us. So depending upon that, we have to have the right relationship. Sakhyam. Samsara Chakra. I am wandering. Brahmataha. Brahman ho raha hai. Kisme? Samsara Chakra. What is Samsara Chakra, Ayush?
Cycle of life.
Cycle of life. What does that mean? Can you elaborate?
So like from from birth to childhood to adulthood until old age.
Okay. Next, what will happen after that?
And then to death, and then you go to Krishna.
Yeah, if we do the right things, if we do devotion. But if not, what will happen? Swakarma bhi, depending upon our karma, we will get the next birth. We could be a dog's body, it could be a elephant's body. Samsara chakreshu bhramataha swakarma bhi. By my actions, as a result of my actions, I am wandering in the samsara chakra. Sometimes dogs, sometimes elephants, sometimes fish, sometimes there are 8.4 million species. This is samsara chakra. And we are wandering, right? Punarapi janaram, punarapi maranam, punarapi jatari jatari shaina. We are wandering in this again, birth, old age, disease, death. It's not a happy journey. Then, Twan Maya. How is it happening? By your external energy. So, I have attachments to what? Atma, Atmaja. Twan Maya, Atma, Atmaja. So, I have attachment to whom? Atma, Atmaja. So, Atma refers to self, and Atmaja means those who are born from self. That means children. So, I have attachments to myself. Everyone is attached to oneself. Then children, then wife, then house. Geha. Manasa deha geha. Jo kichu mor arpita tava pade nanda kishore. Right? This beautiful bhajan. Manasa deha geha. Deha or geha, it all belongs to Krishna. Arpita tava pade nanda kishore. That's what the devotees pray. But Vritrasura is actually telling the situation for all of us that actually I'm attached to myself, my body, my house, my family, my children, my car, my this, my that, and all the things. Asakta, chittasya, my chitta, my consciousness is asakta. Na natha bhuyat. So, O Lord, please take away all the impure attachments and everything, let everything be attached to Natha, only to you. Let my mind be asakta. So basically we can, put like the na, think about a na here. Take my attachment, my asakti from Atma, Atmaja, Dara, Gehishu, na. I don't want attachments here. I want attachment asakta chittasya natha bhuyat, at your lotus feet. So if we do a quick summary, in text number 24, we studied how he is aspiring not for any upper, lower, middle planets. He's only aspiring for engaging the body, mind, and words in the service of the Lord and become the servant of the servant. And then he's further telling what all the things he does not want: material designations, yoga siddhi, sarva bhoma. Now he's getting even more particular. Upper, lower planets. I don't want upper planets, lower planets, middle planets, yoga siddhi, etc. What do I want? I do not want your separation. Na virahai kanchi. Wherever I am be, that you might always be the object of my vision. And then 3 examples or analogies were given. One was the bird, young birds waiting for the mother, then the wife waiting for the husband, then the cows waiting for the mother's milk. And that's how he is waiting for the darshan of Arvinda Aksha. That means Krishna. And in the last verse, he's asking the friendship of devotees, Mamottama Shloka, and he is asking, I don't want to wander in this, and please take my attachment away from home, family, children, etc. and let my attachment to only be you, O my Nath. So these are the prayers of Vritrasura. So we can meditate upon these and try to memorize also. These are beautiful prayers, not too hard, since especially we did word to word, it helps. And also we can repeat the same prayers of great souls. These are the words of Bhagavatam, these are the words of great souls, and this should be our aspiration also. So with that, I'll take a pause and see if there are any thoughts, comments, or questions in that next few minutes, and then we will stop for the day. Thank you, Priya, Mataji, and Ravi Prabhu for joining as well. You have any thoughts or anything to add?
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. No, Prabhuji, the class was really nice. I learned a lot from it as to, how to be in more of a service mind frame to Krishna in any circumstances. It's very hard to think to be in a different place with different circumstances, because here we have so much of association. You just put on the YouTube or put on a class and you have so much of association, so much of Krishna around you, surrounding you. So we have it, you can say a little bit easy, but when we're put into circumstances where it's not so much around, we get carried away. And it's something to always have in your mind, that you constantly have to be trying in your spiritual life harder and harder every day to serve and to hear and to chant seriously. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your thoughtful comments and realizations. That's absolutely true. Therefore, Krishna knows what's best for us and gives us the appropriate environment where we can organically grow. Vritrasura, just think about him. He had the service to fight with demigods who are Krishna's devotees. But he was still, even in doing that service for Krishna, he was 100% Krishna conscious. Very hard circumstance, right? Forget about devotee association. He's fighting with devotees. Right? So we can at least pray to Vritrasura to that, even we are in tough situations, we still remain pure in consciousness. We can also offer or seek or render those prayers to personalities like Vritrasura. Thank you. Any thoughts you have? Anything you want to add?
Those verses are really very nice verses, and also like you can see how that Vritrasura always he's trying like only the devotional service. He's not looking anything. Means he is not looking any Brahma Loka, Dhruva Loka, any Loka. He's not interested. Only thing he's only to the devotional service. And the example like even like the calf, how he's waiting, and also the bar and the white. So those are the really very nice example. And in our case also, like we have to think that way. Always we are thinking in the material perspective, but we have to think in the spiritual way how our life will be. So we can put like something like we can do that way, then it will be better for us also.
Thank you. Okay, I think it's 9 o'clock, so we can take a pause here and continue next time. Hare Krishna, Grantraj Bhagavatam Purana ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Vritrasura ki jai, Vritrasura Stuti ki jai. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.